What if we could send Michael Jordan back to playing basketball with you in your prime? All right? How do you think he would do in those days?
Well,
really?
No.
You think he'd have been crushed, is what you're saying?
I don't think. I know you've been crushed. Right, yeah.
You're saying Michael Jordan back then would have been on the bench the whole time?
Absolutely. You know, being considered how to think about that. And that's the truth.
Really?
So let's get right into it. So today we're going to be talking about how the older NBA players are talking shit about the newer NBA players and how the new generation's defense is weak and soft. But let's get right into it. Let's debate. Okay, so let's get right into it. So recently, old NBA players like Oscar Robertson, Tracy McGrady, Scottie Pippen, they've been basically roasting the Golden State Warriors, and they've been saying that the old generation is better than the new generation, and the new generation is pretty soft. So both Tracy McGrady and Oscar Robertson said that the modern NBA defense is soft and weak, and if Steph Curry played back in the 50s or even back in 2000, he wouldn't be able to do all this stuff that he's doing right now in the NBA. No other sports do this. Only old NBA players do this. I've never seen like any other sports like football, soccer, baseball. They never trash the current generation. Not even that, from Charles Barkley to Michael Jordan, they've been saying, "Oh, a jump shooting team can't win championships." I just don't understand it. Honestly, older NBA players have been saying that the modern NBA is like all soft and there's no hand checking. But I do get that there's no hand checking, but so I personally think it's just the older generation mindset that like their era is always better than the new era. So let's go back to even further back to Wilt Chamberlain when he played back in the 50s and 60s, and let's see what he has to say about Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal. You see that response? You don't think Shaq could play back in the 50s? Really? The 50s, where all the white guys were about 6'7", 200 pounds? So let's see what Wilt Chamberlain has to think of Michael Jordan.
Now, what would his playing style, how would that have translated back then?
Well, his playing style is he's 6'7" and he's like 197 pounds. Mm-hmm. Coming into what we call our domain, the pivot mm-hmm. for us big guys, mm-hmm. would not have been very wise of Michael, you know, if he was playing during our time. So we would say, Michael, you know, as long as you do all those fancy things outside of where we are, that's fine. So it wouldn't have been good for Michael.
Really?
No.
You think he'd have been crushed, is what you're saying?
I don't think. I know you've been crushed. Right, yeah.
You're saying Michael Jordan back then would have been on the bench the whole time?
Absolutely. You know, being considered how to think about that. And that's the truth.
Really?
You guys get the point now? It's like an old man yelling at a cloud. I don't know exactly how they truly feel, but I feel like they always think that their generation is better than the new generation. Like how our generation right now, I would say like the 90s kids, like the 90s kids think that the newer generation, like the current today's music, is shit. I just hope that when I'm 50 or 60, I'm not a bitter old man and saying that the new generation of like 2030 draft picks are shit, and not like the 2010 Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James. Like I wouldn't be able to say something like that. If I see someone like really good, even when I'm like 40, I would still give him props, you know. I just feel like the older generation is really salty about the new generation. Like, look, even Wilt said Michael Jordan and Shaq wouldn't have been able to dominate in their era. Stupid, man. Like, someone like Steph Curry, Michael Jordan, Shaq, Kobe, LeBron, they would dominate any era. I don't care what you think, any era. Alright, thanks for watching our video, guys, and I'm out. Peace.